Hey traders, welcome to another edition of the Crypto Lab with Alex, featured by Trading Analysis. I hope you are all well and sound. So let's dive into an overview of what has been going on in the crypto space. Sorry, more no sound. Can you check that for me? Because I see here that the sounds are working fine. Hey Lee, can you check for me for the sounds because I see um, one of the viewers has no sound, so I want to check that for everybody. Is that fine, or I don't want to begin if you don't? Oh, okay, so you hear me. Okay, Morn, so log out and log in. Probably it is the problem with okay. Okay, guys, so let's dive in. Lots of happenings in the last weeks in the crypto space, and let's start with our usual overview of what has been going on in the crypto space. You all has been monitoring the latest things in the cryptos, and I've been looking the today's news. Nothing much really except in the last couple of days we have been going through of a really big move down in the crypto market cap. So as you know, I think we dropped down close to 500 billion on a Bitcoin from 1.2 trillion. So we are still monitoring this dissipation of the inflows or better to say outflows of the funds in the cryptos, and some of them really suffered pretty much. Dogecoin from 45, 46, 48 billion came down to 31. And this is pretty much the picture with most of the cryptos in the first 10 place of the market cap. You all know what was actually our view, that we are going to go into a small crypto winter. And as I'm going to show you in the technical analysis that we track, we think that we still have time that this correction unfolds, and that we are going to see more of it in the future due to several influences that we see on the macro space. I'm just going to show you a little bit of the dollar index. Potentially, we are looking this as a fifth wave truncation in this potential five-wave sequence. So we need to see a five-wave move up completed to hammer possibly this ABC correction in dollar. We also had Jerome Powell talking about the possible move in rates in 2023. He was not that specific. Actually, the dot plot, which is the view of the individual committee members, actually presented the case for a rate increase. Market reacted. First impulse, of course, was the selling in stocks. Fed is admitting that they are starting to look on the current tapering view. They've been very vocal that they're going to announce that in advance. They're going to be very transparent, but for now, they're just looking. And that was enough for markets to go a little bit down, dragging also the cryptos with it. And we hear this morning about the China new inflows and new stimulus into economy. So from different continents, different perspective. And as our view was pretty much unfolding, we still think that we have a little bit more of this inflationary narrative. And this inflationary narrative shows to be not very good for cryptos as well as gold. We have been looking a gold chart for a potential move down from this possible X wave. We were waiting 5 waves up, which we didn't get. So actually, currently, I think that these two narratives in gold and Bitcoin goes hand in hand. So we are going to look for a further move down in gold with cryptos as well, and then a possible a new deflationary development and receding of these imbalances on the supply side. They might stay for a year, 6 months to a year into economy, maybe even a little bit more. But in general, we think that the higher forces of deflation, deflationary forces actually of technology and demographics will start to overpower these supply imbalances, supply side imbalances as soon as the economy recovers from this COVID crisis. Vaccination is going good. People start to fly to go more on vacations. In US especially, in Europe situation is starting to be better. In my country as well, we have less and less. We just have from couple of months from almost 5,000 cases a day, because we are a small country, we now have almost registered less than 100 per day. Almost 60% of population, I think, it's vaccinated, or it will be in the next month or two. So the spreading will definitely cease to some extent, and we can maybe go into the end of 2021 with a little bit more relaxed measures regarding the COVID. In any case, the gold didn't like the Jerome Powell's narrative. We didn't succeed to trace anything impulsive on the upside, so we are looking for more downside in some type of a corrective pullback and this complex correction to unfold, and then potentially when deflationary forces kicks in again, we might see gold starting to move up together with the Bitcoin potentially beginning of September, October, November, or close to the end of 2021, which our wave count also suggests for a Bitcoin. So let's dive into a Bitcoin chart. As you know, our usual narrative that we were actually presenting here in the last couple of weeks, even months, is that cryptos are going to go into a small crypto winter, which will last for some time. And what is interesting about this is that usually tracking the right look as a guideline between the corrections, something in a time-wise period, these corrections might play out into a similar kind of a time duration. We mentioned that, so this is the higher time frame outlook. We are looking for pretty kind of a sizable correction, and if you measure by some percent change towards correction move lower, this one went down around 71%, and potentially this one will measure the same around 71%, which is a kind of also a nice similarity in a possible move of this right look in these corrections. So we are still going to count this as a 1-2. Nice development in the wave 3. We missed my first objective target, which was actually this 200% slightly, which is at 74K. We descended from that pretty sharply, from 64K to 30, even below 30K, and now we are recovering, which we are thinking is going to be a three-wave pullback in this B wave on the higher time frames. So I'm going to go lower to show you the details. But in general, in presenting the overall higher degree wave count, we still think that we are going to go and undergo a sizable correction in the Bitcoin as in other coins, and that now that we have a five-wave move lower, which is relatively clear, we are going to look for a ABC pullback. This still can morph into some different variations. Corrective patterns in Elliott wave are several types, and they have subtypes. We can also trace out some sort of a B-wave triangle here, which is triangle you can find in a fourth waves or in this intermediary corrective waves in an X wave position or a B wave position. So we are still kind of looking for signs and orientation how this correction on the upside will unfold. For now, I'm tracking ABC. We are long from yesterday with members. We traded a little bit on the short side successfully, and now we are going to try to capture some of the price action in this possible ABC on the upside. On the higher time frame, the picture for Ether is basically the same. So we are looking for similarity between these two corrections for now. One thing I forgot to say in the Bitcoin, so let me just go back and say one very important thing. So our key ratio that we are going to look, not the ratio, but the level, will be this possible wave count invalidation, which is at 14,000. Our main support level will be this kind of a fib cluster, and also one of the things which we usually look, which you can see here, which can provide a pretty good support, basically matching with these levels that we are looking. And we always put this type of a base channel here when we do some type of a potential resistance. And if you draw the support channel, it comes exactly around these two fib cluster, which comes between 19,500 and 22,000. So this will be my key zone if my hypothesis on this wave count is correct, and we should track after correction another 5-wave move lower towards this level, and this level actually must hold. I don't want to see a break of this invalidation level, because in that case we will have to go to kind of a horror scenario that one of the that not just one but many of our members are looking, and that actually calling that a horror scenario, and that instead of 1-2 we had a triangle here, and that actually higher degree orange wave already finished, and we can go even down to 9 to 10 thousand in a Bitcoin. So this is my secondary scenario, just in case. My preferred one is still this. I'm going to stay bullish until proven differently. I'm not going to have a long exposure except a swing trading, capturing some of these moves. And then here I will look at the wave structure. Actually, if we go a little bit ahead of that, some of the confirmation signs definitely from this level will be either on a smaller or a little bit larger time frame, a clear 5-wave move on the upside and a pullback. That will be a confirmation for the further continuation towards these targets, which are pretty high for the Bitcoin. Let me just go back to Ether. Pretty much the same situation. If you look at from the fib perspective, we had a pretty big Fibonacci cluster here, which we usually look. And as you can see here, that cluster was pretty much enough to basically border this move on the upside and actually caused a very sharp reversal. Usually these clusters are very strong resistance, and this cluster was derived from several fib ratios on the higher and the lower lesser degree waves. So in that respect, we are still going to look for Ether for some type of a correction in this wave 4. Ideally, that will be this zone from 1,000 to 1,300. But correction, as I said, can morph. We might even get some triangle on Ether, a little bit more on the upside. I'm still not clear. And basically, triangles you cannot even recognize until you have a D wave completed. So I'm still going to juggle between the different patterns as they develop, which is a little bit more clearer on the Bitcoin than in Ether in the current development. But as long as this area here kind of holds and moves more sideways and a little bit potentially downside, I will keep this view that this zone will be crucial for this pairing correction to unfold, taking some time, and then when this time expires, some around from September to January 2022, I will be looking for some signs that Ether finally might get out of this correction and start moving towards this target, which is pretty also high. And we know what's going on with Ether. It is going through the improvements and all of this and popularity of Ether in building the cryptos infrastructure definitely will put Ether as one of the cryptos that we might favor if this potential correction is done in this way and continuation on the upside. So let me go on a smaller time frame and show you the sum of smaller wave counts that we are tracking. So let me just find this one, and I'm going to go in a smaller details in a Bitcoin. What we are seeing here from the highs, you can definitely form a 5-wave structure here following the Elliott wave guidelines. So we had a 5-wave sun. You can also structure this directionally. I like this to be a leading diagonal. It fits well. Both of these you can derive that, depends on your skills. And then we had a 3-wave pullback, and then we had a pretty sharp wave 3 to the downside. You can subdivide this successfully without any break of this Elliott wave major rules. Wave 3 here is in the lesser degree is not the longest one, but when you have the wave 1 shorter than wave 3, then the rule applies, and it's completely valid that the wave 3 cannot be the shortest wave in the third wave sequence, which we clearly see here. Then we had a consolidation which resembled firstly a triangle. We had some shorts here, covered it very successfully, and then this started to be more a complex one. And one trick we usually do for these resistance levels is again this base channel. So when you put a base channel which usually goes towards the wave 1 and 2, you get an interesting situation for the further development. So this is a base channel, as you can see, pretty and it is very visible that the Bitcoin could not overpass these levels, which was supposed to be resistance. Also, you can form some of the fib ratios. We retraced exactly 50% of the for the wave 4 comparing to the wave 2. And this correction was lasting in time in the ratio that we understand it is quite okay. A little bit more than 1618 that we spent in this correction. So as we are looking this correction similarity on the higher time frames, which I have shown you, we also can do that, and as you can see here as an example, in the lower time frames. So this correction took in the fourth wave exactly a little bit over and close to 200% time elapsed in a wave 2, and then we collapsed down, making a new low for the in a 5-wave sequence. And what is also interesting is that I think we had, let me just find this ratio between the wave 1 and wave 5. I think they were close to equal. Yeah, just a spike down. So usually when we have elongated wave 3, usually wave 1 and wave 5 are equal. That you can see this in this fib ratio, which presents equality between this wave 1 and wave 5. We also had a support before, as you can see here, pretty nice support. RSI was pretty low, and we posted a new low here, which was a satisfactory element to consider the sequence to be finished. We also went for a 38.2% projection, more than 0.618. This is the two ratios, and this one clustered with this equality measure from wave 1 to the wave 5. So lots of indication that this might be a possible lows before correction starts. And we are going to look for a B wave pullback, which usually goes to 50% or 0.618 retracement level from all of this move to the downside. So how actually this will look, if we, let me just take out this fill so I can show you something else as well, which is pretty much interesting. So usually when we look for these B waves, corrective pullbacks, sequence is usually ABC. So if we decompose this as an ABC, we can look for the A wave to come also to this lower bound of this channel, which will be also a resistance for the possible A wave target, and the previous fourth wave also resistance. So we will look for some type of an ABC. Even if A wave is a little bit smaller, we are going to look that this mid channel line offers a pretty nice resistance levels in this zone. So this will be the zone that we will observe here as a major resistance area for the this pullback. So it will be from 40K to 43K, let's say. So this will be the major resistance area here for this pullback. We are currently long for this possible first 5 waves up, so we count this as impulsive move on the upside in a 5 waves, and then we are probably going to skip the pullback because pullbacks can be tricky. You need to actually hunt for the highs to have a nice risk reward, and then we are going to look if we get here a nice pullback for additional longs to capture some of this the rest of this C wave move. Equality we can still not measure, we can just do this in a hypothesis. Should also kind of depends when this B wave completes, finish around and within these resistance levels that we look for this possible correction to unfold. So even drilling on a smaller time frame, there is a couple of things that we are looking here. So this wave 2 may be still not finished. We need to go further on the upside. If it is completed, we should continue here. If we are not completed, we might have a little bit a more downside price action in the complex. So this is the 5-minute chart. I usually don't go that low. But in general, just to show you this possibility of an X wave and a little bit more sideways price action in this correction. So we can look this as an ABC for W, X, and search equality at the 50% retracement, a little bit below 32,000. If we start to break this level on the upside, then wave 2 will be finished, and we will seek for some movement on the upside for the possible wave 3, 4, and 5 according to this script, looking for these highs on the orange A wave on this basically corrective structure that we are tracking. So this is our up-to-date analysis on the Bitcoin. If you have any questions, please post it in. As you know, Trading Analysis is the trading house, and we are one of the rare professional houses that we also not just offer analysis on cryptos, we also trade them, and we are transparent about our I will not call them signals. We don't do signals. I had some people coming into the, which is okay. I mean, people are considering they should get signals to buy or sell. But I will not consider our work as a signal. We more use a scientific approach and try to look through the mathematics of these relations and put the trades for us and the members. If they like to follow, they follow. If they don't, of course, nobody asks them to follow it. So if you want to see our work, you can visit the Trading Analysis website. We also have a stocks and Forex service and the crypto one. So we have lots of stuff, chart room, members webinar, trade desk, repository if you have a multi wave. We have a great community in Discord channel, app on the mobile phone. So everything of this is built by the phenomenal team in Trading Analysis, which supports also this development of the crypto space. And if you like to have a trial, please visit us. And we are going to roll out a pretty nice, I think next month. Next month, I'm working on a Fibonacci course ratio, where I'm going to present all of these relations that you see between the different sequences and how they relate between the time and the Fib ratio. So I think if you're interested in discovering how all of these measures are functioning, you can stay tuned and wait for the announcements of this Fib course, which will be rolled out, I think, somewhere next month. Okay, so let's look for some other cryptos. If you have any cryptos you like to track, so please write it down. How we are going now? Haley, Morn is a regular and he's a member. D-Back holder, hello. I hope you're all fine, guys. So if you like to type in some cryptos, I will just go randomly towards our list, just to show you some of the things we track for the possible longer term holdings. And one of these that I really like is this Cardano or ADA. So I'm still tracking this nice development here. ADA was holding very good. So we are also looking for some time relations between this wave 2 and wave 4. We are definitely, I think, in the corrective sequence. It is still early to tell which one. I'm suspecting either a triangle or the W. Now we are in some type of an X-way, so this will not be WXY, this will be an ABC in that case. We will go up in X and down in Y, and then it's 38% retracement around 0.65, 0.73, where we have a Fib clustering. For the wave 4, we might actually post some lows for this fourth wave and a continuation on the upside. So I'm still kind of a calmly tracking this, because nothing indicates here for now that Cardano will actually lose this floor of a nice support. It might go a little bit lower, depends on the wave structure here or the corrective pullback, but I will not look for much of a penetration of this support level here. Let me just correct this, and this is a support. So we are actually trading between these two support and resistance levels in a sideways manner. So I think ADA is looking pretty nice for now, handling very well. And it's actually suggesting by this resilience of this very big kind of a hits on the crypto market, that is perspective for the further upside. One of the cryptos, which is also one of the favorites ones regarding the wave structure, is Matic. We were actually with our members tracing out this move on the upside, and we looked for a corrective pullback. And we are currently in a corrective pullback, but I will stay a longer term very bullish, and I will welcome if we go again and kiss this base channel. That will be a kind of a heavenly entry for the further development in Matic. But Matic is holding very well, so I don't think we're going to go that low. Potentially we're going to trace out some triangle or some complex thing more in a sideways manner, and then continue on the upside, because I think Matic has a very bullish wave structure. Okay, I see requests for Ethereum, Bitcoin, and this is the cross we also looked a couple of times. Let me just find our wave count here for Ethereum Bitcoin. Ethereum Bitcoin, I think it still stays bullish. Let me just look at the whole sequence. We posted before some of the developments in this possible wave 2, so we are very much in line with a possible further move up in this Ethereum Bitcoin chart. I'm gonna stay bullish on Ether technically because there is several signs, especially this base channel is still holding very well. We have a kind of a leading diagonal here in a wave 1, 3 waves down in a wave 2, and then we have an impulse 1 down in 2, very sharp wave 3. So what I'm looking here, as this base channel is holding, potentially I'm looking for a triangle and then a move up in a favor of Ether. If we penetrate this, I don't want definitely 0.046 will be a wave count invalidation. So this is my kind of a space which I'm going to work with. So this will be the box which will be my working area for the possible lows. I don't want this box to be penetrated on the downside because the wave count will become invalid. But I don't think it's going to be actually. So what I'm going to look here is either A up in B down in C, or a triangulation, which will take some more time here as the crypto things unfold. And then I'm going to look for Ether to go in this higher degree blue wave 3 on the upside. And there is few fib ratios we are looking there as a possibility for the for this move on the upside. So I'm going to look for also some of the levels around 0.09 on, or even 0.13 in this possible move on the upside. But let me first see what is going to happen here, and then we can track it further. But for now it looks good in general on this daily chart. So I'm going to continue to track this wave count as long as we trade above this 0.046 levels, which will be one of the key levels which I don't want to see actually broken on the downside. Okay, so hey MR, Todd is our fearless leader. He's not here. Alex is here. I'm actually the student of Todd. I learned this methodology back in 2009 when Todd was pretty kind to come from United States all the way to Serbia and teach us the methodology in live. So he came twice and visited Serbia in 2009 and 2010. So I had a first-hand live learning in this methodology from Todd, and from there, as he said, I was bitten by the bug and never left it afterwards. Okay, guys, so that was Ethereum Bitcoin. Any more requests? You seems a little bit quiet today. I don't see much of enthusiasm, so I know, I mean, it is pretty much, I will not that type for you guys, but I'm tracking the crypto scene and I see many people with the broken hearts in general for this fall. I'm also kind of very touched to see that people was buying pullbacks in a hope that Bitcoin will stage this immense reversal again on the upside, which we have seen every time basically in the past. This time didn't happen. So that's why you have to be very careful with risk on the crypto space. It is very volatile, and if you don't know what you're doing, you either get some hand and some of the more experienced guys to kind of give you some map. It not necessarily has to be us. I'm not advertising, but there is many good guys operating out there. But if you are a new baby, if you're not experienced in trading, take some guidance, because it will save you at least a lot of nerve energy and lots of troubles, because it was not very wise to buy these dips while the Bitcoin was moving lower, and I think it will not be wise again to consider this to be a new bullish development on the upside, at least until we see some confirmation. Okay, I don't think that we can so easily go back to 1.2 trillion in this macro environment. I was talking about this environment couple of crypto labs before, so I'm still not seeing that environment until October, November, December this year. I will not be actually taking this run on the upside, possible run on the upside, too seriously, even if we go to this 0.61 or a little bit higher. If we start to trade around 57, 55, I will start to be suspicious for either a larger triangle, or actually that my wave count is not good, and that I'm going to look the wave structure and potentially turn even bullish at this level, somewhere around there. As long as we trade in this area, I cannot technically become bullish on a Bitcoin, and I think everybody who says that it can confidently say that Bitcoin from here will go to new high, I think it is just a daydream. So follow some of the guidelines and follow some of whatever you do, but just not fall from the possible fast recovery here, because the macro environment and technical environment is not there. Maybe you should kind of be a little bit more patient and wait for some type of a confirmation, because if we go up, we will go up substantially in a Bitcoin. So there is a lot of time to capture this move on the upside. So you have time. You don't have to actually buy a low, which lots of people has tendency, especially which are new babies in trading, to do so. Okay. Hey, Sylvian. Yeah, the plan is still working, so we are gonna track it. Hello, Jongon Park. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. You're asking, is there a scenario a Bitcoin go lower than 28K in a couple of days? X, we just had the 1 and 2 of the downward impulse. Okay, let's examine that. What is where do you see here 1 and 2? If you think that we go below 28K, this will mean that this fifth wave is still not finished, and that it is going to be prolonged move on the downside. Okay, so let's do an example of that. Let me do it actually here. Yeah, so to have an evidence of the pullback, you have to have some type of a three-wave move, and I don't see it here. I don't see equality between these two levels. I don't see a triangle as an intermediary one. So even if you're right, this one will go a little bit higher and then reverse, and then we will know that because we have some signposts which are following the Elliott wave rules. This can pretty much nicely subdivide into impulsive wave to the downside. So you can pick several ways how you can do these subdivisions. I personally like something like this, that we had a nice long wave 1, up in 2, down in 3, up in 4, and down in 5. So this goes well into my book. And again, let's not underestimate also the relative strength index for the lows, which actually touched very nice low. So we have a nice divergence here and here, as you can see. So this is also one of the signs of the possible lows. So as you can see, we also have this now support level where we are now. And we also dropped 30%, 40, 50%. I don't know how much. So I didn't. Let's see from the highs, from peak to trough. So why? I mean, sometimes whatever move you have, you should have some type of a rest. Things doesn't go in one direction indefinitely. So we lost. Let me see, 55% of the Bitcoin value in a very short amount of time. This started at let's say April 14, and we finished potentially June 22. So 2 months. Maybe we need to take a little bit of rest, taking the other direction, and then continue. So it's a kind of a normal, chocolate biscuit pause. When you go to school, you have a kind of a 15-minute pause. You can eat some cookies and refresh. So maybe you can look this in that way. This is just a refreshment before a new um, possible downside. So it's quite common in life. So I think it could be common in markets as well. In bigger image, start from 41K. Okay, let's go on a bigger image. And let's start for 41K. Yeah, I did start it for the 41K. As this is the 41K. As I said, this is the impulsive move. So if you count this as a wave one in a wave five, the correction still didn't actually unfolded. And for now, you don't have any confirmation that this downside movement has started. The only way how I can consider this is if I see a break of this 31 again, I will be suspicious of my wave count. For now, we are holding pretty much very nice. We had a 50%, 55% drop. Impulsive move up is very visible. Corrective move is very visible. We are potentially, if we don't break these levels, might go a little bit lower. RSI is pointing on a higher time frame that we are potentially starting corrections. So in my book, if you mount this evidence, which you have a couple of them, I really cannot be bearish at this moment. So I don't know on which premises you base your case for a further move to the downside. Okay. So I mean, it is easy to say it's going to go downside, but you need to back that up with some sort of methodology or the evidence that you're looking um, from whatever parameters are you look. So to say it's going to go down, it's going to go up, it's very easy. But I'm trying to present you a viable evidence from kind of a scientific perspective that we follow, why we are basing our case and what factors in that we make a case, what might happen. And this is all we do because of the risk control. It's not that we are like to look into the crystal ball and be forecasters. This tool is actually help us to have a nice risk reward ratio, and that's all. Nobody knows where the markets will go. We just can put a hypothesis and then mount the evidence to support that hypothesis and track it. So if it turns out to be a good case, then we can have an edge, and that's it. Yeah, I don't think that we are going to go in a stock market crash. Yeah, cash, definitely. Stock market crash. I think we might see a correction, and that correction in stocks might pair out with our C wave. Okay. So my timing for a possibility that we go down in stocks very temporarily for a couple of months will be actually the reason why the Bitcoin will actually make the C wave down. I don't know if you look the beginning of the Crypto Lab MR. Our explanation was pretty vocal that we are looking from 20 to 20K, 20 to 22K in a Bitcoin. Okay, guys. So let me look for some other requests that you had. XLM. I don't know. XLM is still moving on the upside. We are still looking for a couple of solutions here. So I still don't know what is the wave structure, but looking at the Bitcoin, I don't suspect we are going to finish in a triangle. So maybe something um, more violent to the downside. I don't think we are done here. Maybe we are, but I need to see signs. But I will look for a little bit more here in some type, either for even potentially. I mean, you can make several cases here. You can make a triangle here. You can make a fourth wave. You can also make a different solutions for this correction. But in any case, as I see a Bitcoin moving lower, I cannot be so bullish on the XLM in this moment. So I have to kind of wait and see what this wave structure will bring. And definitely, this might agree with a little bit deeper pullback down to this 0.12. If we stay in the range, then I will look for some type of a triangle and then a continuation. Okay. Ether on the smaller time frame, it is tricky. I must admit, I'm not struggling, but I'm still looking how it will unfold. I'm still going to look for some type of a WXY, a more complex correction than a Bitcoin. You can count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here, and have the same ABC. So you can do that. But for my taste, this is a pretty much big fourth wave for this small pullback in a two-way. So I will make a combination, which is basically the same, which actually sees a potential up in B, but this B is complex in X, and then or W or Y. So you can make a different combination, but the outlook is the same. The labeling is just how you interpret the current price movement, but when you have the outcomes actually the same, it really doesn't matter what do you put here. Okay, so in line with cryptos moving lower, what we see, even if I erase this completely, what do I think? I don't think, even from this perspective, we are still matching this larger correction here in time. So definitely, I will in Ether give this um, give this development and a crypto winter more time to develop. Okay. Hey, Morn. I hope Australia is not that hot as here. We are at around 35, 36 degrees. I'm boiling here. Filecoin still, yeah, we are looking for some. I mean, I remember you asked me here. We were looking this as some type of a three-way move. So I will look for five-way move here completed, or you can have a WXY. It really doesn't matter. So if this is a five-way move, I will look for some type of a triangulation or a smaller correction. So Filecoin doesn't look pretty nice from this perspective. If you count this as a five-way move or as a three-way move, anyhow, whatever correction occurs here, it's going to result with the lower levels. Okay. So for now, we had a nice recovery, and I think it's going to last while the cryptos are moving up in this correction. But overall, I'm not so bullish until Bitcoin finish its correction. Especially because we had a pretty sizable move down from these highs. Yeah, Doge was breaking many hearts, still a corrective pullback. We were flagging a couple of weeks and basically advising people to be very careful on Doge. Doge lost pretty much. I've, I've, I've been seeing a lot of things regarding Doge. It's going to go up substantially and all of that stuff. It lost almost 77%. This is a log scale. So I'm still going to look for a triangle. I have also seen appearance of some of um, astrological things that saying that Doge is gonna continue on the upside. So lots of stuff is happening there. So guys, just be careful because, as I said, crypto markets are very volatile. And even if you have or you have borrowed some perspective, have your stop loss or manage your risk. I mean, that's how you will survive. No matter, even if you're a new baby and you're looking for some other guidance, just have protection so that you can last longer. So we are going to look for some type of fourth wave correction. Ideally for me, Dogecoin will be a great down to this 0.082 in this previous fourth wave levels. Otherwise, I will look for a triangle and a continuation. So it's still a little bit early. And as you can see, wave 4 still has a move to go in the Dogecoin. Yeah, good question. Can the time length of the correction on the alts at BTC and alts USD can be different? Yeah, we see that actually on our Bitcoin dominance chart. For example, if you look the timing on this ADA, it's clearly the different one, and ADA is flagging. Depends if it will go to equality in time or 1618, which is the usual two ratios. This one comes around 20th of July, which I think it's a little bit early, so I will go for this 1618-200, which comes between August and September. So ADA might start to move up a little bit earlier. And there is also some of this time comparison in the other cryptos. The last ratio we look for this time development is 2618, which comes around 15th of October. So all of these levels here are completely fine from the time ratios, and I will pair that with the wave structure, which is a pretty good kind of a assembly line to structure when this correction is going to be finished. Okay, guys, so thank you on the attention. If you want to see more of our work, please join us in a trial in trading analysis. We are going to keep in track our Bitcoin wave count and report to you next Thursday. For now, on the smaller time frame, we are still going to track this possible either a break, which will be relatively bullish for the Bitcoin, or one more corrective pullback and then bullish solution. As long as we trade within this area from 31 to 33K, we are going to look for a further upside. And hit the like button for us, guys, just to appreciate our effort. And see you next Thursday on the same place, Crypto Lab with Alex. Even if in the meantime, if you want to visit our website and see our work, you can go to a trading analysis website. So have a nice rest of the day, and see you guys next time on Crypto Lab with Alex. It is still not the time to take the gloves off. Crypto winter is still on, so it's minus. So we are still not taking our gloves and boots. We are in trenches preparing for this correction to get even wilder. For now, our outlook is unfolding pretty nicely, and we are going to keep tracking all of the suggested that you saw. So see you next time, and stay well and trade well. Manage your risk, guys. Manage your risk. Bye bye.